Did Trump's tariffs stop China from stealing intellectual property? Welcome back to the Think IP podcast, where we break down the biggest issues in intellectual property and how they impact businesses, startups, and global trade. I'm your host, Dr. M, and today we're diving into one of the most controversial economic moves in recent history, Trump's tariffs on China. The goal? Stop China from pirating U.S. intellectual property. But did it work? Did China actually stop stealing American technology, or did they just find new ways to do it? And most importantly, what's happening now? Stick with me as we explore why Trump's administration imposed these tariffs, the many ways China and other countries steal foreign IP, whether tariffs actually protected U.S. businesses, and what the U.S. and the world should be doing instead. If you're a business owner, inventor, entrepreneur, or just someone who cares about fair competition, this episode is a must listen. Let's get into it. To understand Trump's tariffs, we need to rewind to 2018. This wasn't just about trade imbalances or economic competition. It was a direct response to a decades-long battle over intellectual property theft. For years, the US had accused China of systematically stealing American innovations, from groundbreaking pharmaceuticals to next-generation AI. But the real question was, could tariffs actually force China to play fair? For decades, the United States accused China of forcing American companies to hand over trade secrets in exchange for market access state-sponsored hacking, to steal patents, designs, and proprietary tech, and counterfeiting and mass-producing knockoff versions of American products. How big was the problem? A report from the United States Trade Representative estimated that China's intellectual property theft cost U.S. businesses between $225 billion and $600 billion annually. So, in response, the Trump administration hit China with tariffs of up to 25% on hundreds of billions of dollars worth of Chinese imports, hoping to pressure Beijing into playing fair. But here's the big question. Did these tariffs actually stop China from stealing US technology? The answer isn't so simple. So, did the tariffs work? What do you think? The big question, did tariffs actually stop China from stealing US technology? Short answer, no. While tariffs made Chinese imports more expensive, they didn't suddenly make China respect US intellectual property laws. Here's what happened instead. First, China retaliated with its own tariffs, hurting American farmers, manufacturers, and tech companies. Second, China shifted its focus to stealing technology from other countries, like Europe, Japan, and even developing nations. Third, China doubled down on domestic innovation. Instead of just copying US companies, the Chinese government poured billions into AI semiconductors and biotech to compete directly with American firms. And finally, even the 2020 trade agreement, where China promised to crack down on IP theft, didn't deliver long-term results. So, while the tariffs put the economic pressure on China, they didn't actually stop IP theft. They just changed how and where it happened. Now, let's go deeper into the actual methods China and other countries use to steal foreign intellectual property. Part C, how China steals intellectual property. IP theft isn't just about knocking off designer handbags. This is a multi-layered, highly sophisticated operation. From cyber espionage to forced technology transfers, China has mastered the art of acquiring foreign innovations by any means necessary. Let's expose the real playbook behind China's IP theft strategies: cyber espionage and hacking. One of the biggest weapons in China's IP theft strategy is cyber attacks. China's notorious hacking groups, Advanced Persistent Threat 10, known as APT-10, stole U.S. aerospace and pharmaceutical trade secrets. APT-41 targeted Western universities and defense contractors. And APT-40 focused on stealing biotech and AI research. How they do it: phishing attacks, tricking employees into clicking fake links that give hackers full access to company data. Cloud and VPN hacks, stealing data from corporate networks, malware attacks, breaking into secure systems to extract trade secrets. Industries affected include defense and aerospace, where fighter jet designs and missile technology are at risk. Pharmaceuticals are also targeted, with patented drug formulas and vaccine research being prime examples. Additionally, AI and semiconductors are vulnerable, involving cutting-edge chip designs and military AI advancements. Forced technology transfers are a significant issue. China makes US and European companies share technology in exchange for market access. For example, Tesla, Apple, and Qualcomm all had to partner with Chinese firms to do business in China. Once these companies shared their tech, China developed its own versions and pushed US companies out. The result? American companies lose billions as China builds homegrown competitors using stolen research. Counterfeiting and trademark theft. China is the world's largest producer of counterfeit goods. For example, fake Apple products, Rolex watches, and even entire fake iPhone stores have been found in China. The luxury industry loses $500 billion a year due to counterfeits. Patent hijacking. China has been accused of rewriting its own patent laws to invalidate US patents. How it works. First, a US company files a patent in China. Then a local Chinese firm files a slightly modified version of the same patent. Finally, Chinese courts rule in favor of the local company, allowing it to legally steal the technology. For instance, Huawei and ZTE have been accused of hijacking Western patents to dominate 5G technology. Now let's look at the global fallout beyond the US and China. Trump's tariffs were aimed at China, but the ripple effects stretched across the entire global economy. Here's what happened. Europe, Japan, and other countries faced increased IP theft as China shifted focus. Developing nations became new frontiers for stolen technology. China's homegrown tech giants like Huawei and TikTok rose to compete directly with US firms. The trade war between the United States and China didn't happen in a vacuum. As the US took action, China adapted, but at whose expense? After all that, what's next? Can IP theft be stopped? So if tariffs didn't stop IP theft, what will? Sadly, the answer isn't simple, but it's crucial that we consider the following. 1. The next generation of cybersecurity, how companies can fight back. 2. The role of international coalitions, why the United States can't solve this alone. 3. The battle over AI, semiconductors, and biotech, the industries China is targeting next. 4. What entrepreneurs and businesses need to know to protect their IP. The fight over intellectual property isn't over, it's evolving. The question is, will the United States and its allies keep up? Thanks for tuning into this episode of Think IP. If you've found this discussion valuable, share with your friends and other business leaders. And if you leave your email address in the comments section or go to thinkip.au, I'll send you a free copy of the Think IP book, over 350 pages of practical high-value insights, just to say thank you. Until next time, think IP, because it pays.